All right, welcome to Barely Homesteading. Lumberjack here. And with the winter months, we can't do as much outside, so we moved to indoor projects. And one of the things that we're working hard on this winter is to finish off this room that we started last year. We took out the wall that would have been right in front of me and put in that beam, and now we're finishing off this room. We've already done all the drywall work, the drywall, the mudding, the taping, texturing, and so now we got to get some painting done so that we can move things in here and actually utilize this space. With the painting done, we can now switch out this temporary light with the permanent light fixture. So we've got that permanent light in. I actually had to uninstall it because after I got it up, I realized that the hole in the drywall was larger than the frame of the light. So I had to take it down, do a little bit of patching, and then obviously texture, paint, and reinstall the light. But the light is up and looks pretty good. So we're going to move on to doing some trim work now. I've got this door. We're going to trim out the door. Now, the way that I like to trim out doors is I come up to this top corner with my 45-degree speed square. From the corner, draw that 45-degree angle, and then at a set distance from the corner, measure the height for the trim right where that, on that 45-degree angle, then do the same thing on the other side. Then, when you've got your trim cut, all you have to do is now line up your cut with that 45-degree line. And it should give you that proper offset of the trim. Now with the two side pieces cut, the other thing I forgot to mention is when you're cutting these side pieces, if you installed your door properly, the height of each side should be exactly the same, which makes now putting the top piece in very easy, because now we just have to measure the distance from the outside corner to the outside corner and cut that piece accordingly. So I got the top piece cut. Now when I first brought this down, I was just a hair long, and that's a good point. On something like this, if you cut it just like a 16th or a 32nd longer than what you measured, you can always shave off just a little bit to dial it in. If you cut it short, you gotta start over. But this one, that's lining up really nice. 2/3 corners. And trim for the door is all done. So now we can start working on the trim for the floor. Now, we are currently undecided about what we're going to do with the rest of the flooring in this room. So really the only floor trim that we can do, or floor baseboards that we can do right now, is in this corner where we've already done the tile. So that's what we're going to start. Alright, so I've got the first piece cut. As I've talked about in a previous video on doing trim, this bottom corner doesn't tend to be very square, and as you go down it tends to flare out. And so on my trim piece, I've undercut about the bottom 2/3 of it so that that flare out of the bottom of the corner doesn't cause the trim piece to jut out. And I forgot my nail gun. So the wall is not exactly straight here. I've got a bit of a gap. So we'll fix that when we come in and caulk this. But trim is in. So we now have this room done to the point where we can actually use it. We've turned it into a small TV room. And this is really one of the major rooms where our kids congregate throughout the years. Because in the winter, because our wood stove is here, this room stays nice and warm in the winter, and since it's in the basement and is surrounded basically on 3 sides with no heat, it stays rather cool in the summer. And so particularly after school, the kids are usually down in here either watching TV or on their electronic devices when they're obviously not doing chores. So this has been a great addition to the house. Gives the family a place to congregate, to watch TV, or to play video games and kind of unwind when we're not working or when we're done with work. And we often will have our family movie nights in this room. Now, a few things that we still have to do to completely finish this room off. We have not done any flooring in here, it's just the concrete floor. And the reason for that is because Mama Bear and I have been talking about redoing the flooring in this entire basement at some point in the future. So we didn't want to put a floor in here that we were just going to tear out in a couple of years. And so we're waiting to decide what we're going to do with the flooring in the rest of the basement before we do anything in this room. The other thing is that the beam that we put in, which is behind the camera here, is still uncovered. We have polyurethaned it just so that it doesn't, attract moisture and things. But it is not covered, it's not finished yet. And what we've decided to do there is we want to mill some lumber from the property to be able to finish that off. And so that will be a future project once we get out of the winter months and can get out and start working on milling some of that lumber off of our land. So some future projects down here, but for right now this is usable and as I said, has been very beneficial to the family. So with that, this is Lumberjack with Barely Homesteading saying use it up, wear it out, make it do or do without. Please like and subscribe and we'll see you next time. Bye.